Right, before we get into this, I need you to watch this clip, because what John Fury just said about Carl Froch is genuinely unhinged. Like, this man is 60 years old. He looks like he hasn't slept in 3 days, and he is out here threatening a 4-time world champion, Hall of Famer, on his own social media like it's nothing. And the thing is, Froch has actually accepted. He said, yes, this fight is happening. Or at least it might be. And honestly, I've got so many questions. So stay with me because we are breaking down everything. The brutal warning, the history, what the pundits are saying, and whether this thing actually gets made. Let's go. Okay, so for anyone who missed the start of all this, let me quickly catch you up because the context here is important. It starts at the press conference for Tyson Fury versus Makhmudov. Big event, Netflix involved, proper high-profile stuff. Carl Froch is there working as a pundit for Netflix, doing his thing, minding his business. And John Fury, Big John, the self-proclaimed fighting man, decides this is his moment. He clocks Froch from the floor below, starts ranting, starts raving, screaming, swearing, the whole lot. Froch is up on the balcony, and you can tell he's holding himself back. Now, what makes this spicy is the reason why. Because Froch has been on his YouTube channel, which is the biggest boxing channels going right now, and he's been calling John Fury out for his behavior. The headbutting incident at press conferences, the bullying, the intimidation tactics. Froch has been saying what a lot of people in the sport were thinking, but nobody wanted to say out loud. And John Fury, being John Fury, did not like that one bit. Lennox Lewis was apparently right there and told Froch to ignore him. Keep it professional. So Froch bites his tongue, goes on air 15 seconds later, absolutely keeps it together, does the job. Meanwhile, John Fury is in the background, absolutely losing it. It was embarrassing, genuinely. But the thing with John Fury is he doesn't do embarrassment. He does not have that gear. So instead of going quiet, he doubled down. So after the press conference, Froch drops a response video and it goes viral. Millions of views, everyone's watching, the boxing world is buzzing. And most people expected John Fury to go quiet at that point. Word was even Tyson was fuming at his dad, not happy at all that this was kicking off right before his comeback fight. But nope, Big John comes back with not one, but multiple videos. And mate, the first one. He is jogging down the street, pale-faced, looking like, and I'm not exaggerating here, like a slightly menacing version of Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Froch described it as foaming at the mouth, and honestly, that's not far off. He's threatening Froch, he's threatening Joe Egan, saying he'll take them both on. Tag team, doubleheader, whatever. It was intense. Genuinely threatening in a way where if you're a normal person, you'd be unsettled. Then he drops another video, slightly calmer. 3 main things. First, he actually apologizes to Steve Bunce, boxing journalist, good guy, who Fury had aggressive confronted at the press conference for literally no reason. Steve was just standing there, not even filming, and Fury went for him. Froch was right to call that out. So, fair enough, the apology was needed and it happened. Second, he labels Froch a Tyson Fury hater, which Froch denies, and honestly from what he's said publicly, Froch actually seems quite fond of Tyson. He just thinks Tyson lost to Usyk twice and isn't afraid to say so. That's not hate, that's just calling it straight, which is literally Froch's whole brand. Third thing, he questions why Netflix are even using Froch, which is just such a weird hill to die on when the man has 4 world title belts on his wall and runs one of the most watched boxing channels in the country. And then, almost immediately after saying he wouldn't fight anyone he didn't like because he didn't want to give them the payday, he drops yet another video. And this one changes everything. This is the one. This is what everyone's been sharing. John Fury looks down the camera and delivers what I can only describe as one of the most unhinged, entertaining, old-school hardman speeches you will ever see in a boxing context. Let me give you the gist of it. He calls Froch a worm, says he's a house, says he knows Froch isn't a man. He says he's from the old school, the 70s, 80s, 90s, when men were men and they didn't make YouTube videos, they just fought. He talks about people who knew him from back then, people who could vouch for how dangerous he was outside. And then he says, and this is the line that everyone's talking about, that those people are all dead and gone. Make of that what you will. He tells Netflix to contact him directly. Says he doesn't need 6 months training. Says he's ready right now. He wants Froch on the undercard at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the night of Tyson versus Makhmudov. 8 weeks away. And I'll be honest with you, watching that clip, it's wild. Because on one hand, this is a 60-year-old man making threats on social media that sound genuinely alarming. On the other hand, you almost can't look away. The man is magnetic in the most chaotic possible way. Froch's reaction was pretty much exactly what you'd expect. He watches it back on camera, you can see him trying not to laugh, and then the fighting man in him kicks in. He says if Fury was in the room right now, he'd punch his head in. He says he would have volleyed him back down the stairs if he'd come up to the platform. And then he formally accepts the challenge. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because the boxing world has weighed in heavily on this, and the reactions are all over the place. Eddie Hearn, who knows both men, says he would never back against Carl Froch on the cobbles. Never. But he flags John Fury's size as a serious factor and hints there would be some very illegal moves involved, which tells you everything about how messy this would actually get. Johnny Nelson thinks Froch wins if it gets physical, but gives John Fury massive credit for doing exactly what he set out to do, which is get everyone talking. And he's right. Whatever you think of John Fury, mission accomplished. Spencer Oliver gets asked directly, who wins, Froch or John Fury? His honest answer is Froch. The Cobra's dangerous, still in shape at 48. But then he looks over his shoulder, sees John Fury standing nearby, and goes, actually, yeah, John Fury. Mate. The hesitation said everything. Shane Fury, Tyson's brother, is measured, but not exactly distancing himself from his dad. He basically says if you're going to criticize someone online for months, don't be shocked when they confront you face to face. It's a fair point, actually, even if the way John Fury went about it was way over the top. Frank Warren? Couldn't care less. His words. Says it's completely irrelevant to him. All he cares about is Tyson being fit and ready for April. Which is fair enough. That's his fighter. That's his money. But even Warren can't fully ignore the noise this is generating. And then there's Tyson himself. Because Froch claimed Tyson was privately furious at his dad for all of this. But what actually comes out publicly? Tyson backs John fully. Says Froch is running his mouth and his dad would smash him to bits. So either Tyson changed his tune, or the story about him being angry was never quite right. Either way, the Fury family is presenting a united front. Okay, so the big question, does this actually get made? Here's the thing. There is genuine history here. Froch and John Fury have apparently had conversations about a fight before. There was talk of an exhibition, charity money being involved. John Fury saying the money has to be right. So this isn't completely out of nowhere. These two have been circling each other for a while. The Tottenham show gives it a realistic home. It's already a huge event with Tyson Fury on the card. Adding this as an undercard attraction would generate enormous attention, and Netflix would absolutely understand the entertainment value of it. But there are real questions too. Froch is 47, nearly 48. John Fury is 60. Is that a fair fight? Even Froch admits probably not. When he knocked George Groves out in front of 80,000 people at Wembley, Groves was 11 years younger than him. Fury is 10 years older. The maths are awkward. And John Fury himself keeps flip-flopping. One video he says he's not giving anyone a payday. Next video, he's calling Netflix. That inconsistency makes you wonder how serious this really is, versus how much of it is just content and noise. But then again, Froch is someone who means what he says. He said he'd fight him. He means it. He accepted publicly on camera. That's not easy to walk back. And Froch's whole thing is authenticity, calling it how it is. If he's accepted this challenge on his channel in front of his audience, he's not going to quietly let it disappear. Look, whether this fight gets made or not, what's undeniable is that John Fury has completely dominated the conversation around the Tottenham show. In a strange, chaotic, borderline unhinged way, he's achieved exactly what he set out to do. Everyone is talking about him. And now Froch, a genuine boxing legend, is publicly committed to fighting him. Alright, so I want to throw something at you that I haven't seen anyone else actually say out loud yet. Because everyone's been so focused on who wins the fight, who's tougher, who's the bully, who's right and who's wrong. And I get it, that's the obvious conversation. But there's a different angle here that I think is way more interesting. Carl Froch is the real architect of this entire situation. Hear me out. Because think about what Froch has actually achieved over the last few weeks without throwing a single punch. He has put himself at the center of the biggest boxing story in British boxing right now. He's got Tyson Fury's dad publicly calling him out. He's got Tyson Fury himself responding. He's got Eddie Hearn talking about him, Frank Warren talking about him, every pundit in the sport talking about him. His channel is getting millions of views, and he's positioned himself as the good guy, the straight talker, the man standing up to the bully, while simultaneously hyping up a potential fight that would earn him serious money on the biggest undercard of the year. Now, I'm not saying Froch planned this from the beginning. Maybe he genuinely just called John Fury out on his behavior because he believed what he was saying. That's very possible. That's his whole brand. But whether it was calculated or not, the result is the same. Froch has played this perfectly. The Cobra has accepted. The warning has been sent. The question now is whether John Fury actually steps up or finds a reason to back out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this fight actually happens? And if it does, who wins? I'm going Froch, but honestly, John Fury makes me nervous just watching him talk. Until next time.